The pounding on my front door at dawn shook the stained glass panels like a thunderclap. I opened it to find Nancy, the HOA president. Pink robe, clipboard, and venom in her smile. "Your flowers violate community color guidelines," she hissed. "We don't allow yellow marigolds here." I thought she was joking. She wasn't. She pointed her pen like a dagger at my garden, the one I'd planted in memory of my late wife. I could still smell the wet soil and her perfume, both sickly sweet. 2 days later, I got a $500 fine taped to my door. Remove non-compliant vegetation. I laughed at first, but when I saw the threat of property lien underneath, my laugh died in my throat. They wanted a war over flowers. But what they didn't know was who they were really messing with. That house was everything to me. I bought it 5 years after losing my wife to cancer. Every marigold, every vine, every pebble, I planted it for her. It wasn't just a garden. It was a memory that bloomed. The neighborhood had seemed peaceful at first. Retired couples, trimmed lawns, welcome home signs. But the HOA ran it like a dictatorship. At first, I played along, paid fees, followed rules, until the letters started. Too bright, too tall, too much color. When I tried to reason, they threatened court action. The final straw came when they mocked my wife's memorial garden at a public meeting. Nancy smiled while reading the fine aloud like it was a joke. The board clapped. That night, I swore I'd never let them take my peace again, and I already had the perfect weapon buried deep in county records. Over the next month, they made my life hell. Anonymous complaints. Trash dumped on my lawn. A courtesy notice for unapproved lighting because I'd installed solar path lamps. The intercom buzzed daily. "You're violating HOA policy 7.2 decorative excess." They even sent a landscaper to trim my garden without consent. I caught him mid-cut, his shears glinting in the sunlight. Nancy smiled across the street, just following board orders. I could taste rust in the air, anger. Then came the biggest insult. A $5,000 lien notice for known compliance with landscape uniformity. That night, I sat on my porch, the air heavy with the scent of crushed marigolds. My hands trembled, not from fear, but fury. They thought they could bully me into submission. They didn't know I'd spent 20 years in real estate law. It was time to dig up some records. I started quietly. Public land records, property maps, deed filings. I knew where to look, and then I found it. A forgotten clause buried in an old land parcel transfer. The HOA's office sat partially on a private lot, my lot. I'd bought it years ago as an investment, not realizing their building extended onto it by 14 feet. I called a surveyor, confirmed it, then called my attorney. Within a week, the HOA received a formal notice of encroachment. The look on Nancy's face when she opened it. Priceless. Priceless. They called an emergency meeting. Tried intimidation again. I recorded every word. When they refused to negotiate, I filed for foreclosure on the encroached property. They'd find me for flowers, but now they were about to lose their headquarters. They doubled down, of course, sent threats, claimed community ownership. But county records don't lie. At the court hearing, Nancy strutted in with her clipboard like it could save her. I showed the judge the survey, the deeds, the HOA's own documents, proving their mistake. When the judge ruled in my favor, the gavel hit like thunder. The HOA is hereby ordered to vacate or purchase the encroached property within 30 days. Nancy's face drained of color. The board whispered in panic. I walked out calm, the same way they'd left those fines on my door. Except this time, they were the ones facing eviction. 30 days later, when the HOA failed to pay, the property was sold. To me, the no unauthorized parking sign now hangs in my garage. My favorite souvenir, the HOA office, gone. I leased the space to a small flower shop. The owner filled it with marigolds. Nancy resigned. Most of the board followed. The community finally voted to dissolve the HOA entirely. Neighbors started waving again. Kids played outside. My garden bloomed brighter than ever, and one quiet evening, I lit a candle by my wife's memorial stone. The wind was soft, the porch light warm. For the first time in years, peace. That night, as the porch light glowed again, I finally felt home. What would you do if this happened to you? Subscribe for more HOA revenge stories.